Hey guys, MeLikeBigBoom here, and lately I have been noticing a bit of an issue in the Unturned community. Unturned 3.0 is in the middle of hardcore development right now. Lots and lots of updates have been coming out in December, and as of right now, Nelson is working on the big Canada map throughout January. Like right now is the time for suggestions. Nelson is taking into consideration a lot of the community's suggestions, but the problem is that no one knows where to go to pitch in their suggestions. We have people like tweeting Nelson, and we have people commenting to me to tell Nelson. Like I don't have connections with Nelson anymore than you do. They comment on me to tell Nelson to add something, or they tweet Nelson, or they go on his streams, or they go on his YouTube videos, or they email me. I've had people email me thinking that I'm Nelson. It's a whole mess. So I'm going to try and help that a little bit with this video. In this video, I'm basically going to provide some of my ideas and suggestions for Unturned 3.0, and it will give us some sort of base to work off of, and then you guys can comment down below suggestions that you thought were good, suggestions that you thought were bad, suggestions of your own, and then if you see some comments down there that you think are good ideas, make sure to give them a thumbs up so that way they appear up at the top, and if you see suggestions that are just terrible, then make sure to give them a thumbs down so that way they'll never be seen. So my plan for this video is just to be something that you can always go back to, like a forum thread or like some sort of Reddit post or something that you can go back to and watch it kind of mold together with people's ideas. So I'm just going to provide some of my ideas. I can guarantee you that there are going to be some good ones in there and some ones that are absolutely terrible. They're basically just ideas that popped up in my head as I was playing Unturned, and I just put them down on my phone. So you guys should comment down below ideas of your own and comment which ones you liked and which ones you didn't like. But I guess I'll just start kind of reading off on my little list and give you a little bit of a backstory behind why I thought that idea was a good one or why it was a bad one. And make sure to like tweet Nelson this video or something so that way he can go back to it and at least find some ideas that might be good or ideas that might be bad. But my first idea is crates on the back of trucks to be able to, when you go down to place an object or a crate, you can place it down on the ground or inside your house, or you can go up to the back of a truck and it will snap it to the back of a truck, so that way you can have moving storage. Now, Nelson said that he was planning on adding storage into cars. I'm not sure how he was going to add that, but I think that would be a good way to implement it, so being able to put crates or chests on the back of trucks, or maybe even in vans or military trucks or something like that. That would be pretty cool. One thing that I've been hoping for being in the game for quite a while is hitting an object in a car at high speed should damage it. Like, it's kind of weird how we can go full speed in our roadster and hit a wall and it just does nothing. So that's kind of like we have no purpose of using brakes. Like at least what I do is I go full speed, and if I want to go to like pharmacy, I'll just like sharply turn to the left and crash into the pharmacy to stop instantaneously. So I think making damage happen in the game would help make the game a bit more realistic and require a bit more strategy than just frickin' ramming full speed into a building. And then one idea that would branch out and open up a lot of opportunities is fire. We haven't had fire in the game. Maybe perhaps you could have spreading fire. You know, you could have a little bit of a forest fire that goes on, kind of like in Far Cry. I'm not sure if that'd be too difficult. I'm obviously not a game developer, but perhaps it's something that can happen. I think it'd be pretty cool to have like Molotov cocktails, or be able to blow up a car in a forest and it would have spreading fire, and it would kind of be a good way of cleaning out animals and snipers up on the hill and forcing them to move somewhere else. And also, it's kind of strange to be able to jump on top of exploded cars and the fire doesn't affect you. So I think at least at the bare minimum, fire should hurt you. If you're stepping on top of a campfire, or if you're stepping on top of the fire that's going from a car, I think it should at least hurt you. So that's one thing. One thing that I think is a really good idea, it definitely should be added. Standing nearby a fire or campfire, whatever, if it's from fire from a car, or if Molotov cocktails are added, standing next to a fire that comes from that should get rid of freezing in snowy environments. So I think it'd be cool to be able to go up in the mountains with a campfire, and then once you get up to the top, you put down a campfire and you have to stay nearby it in order to keep warm. So that's pretty cool. Definitely think that should be added. And then also, flares and fire from cars have a higher radius of attraction. And then on the other end of things, smoke should have less of a radius when it's dark. So like as an example, you know, you throw a flare in the dark, it's obviously going to be much brighter and much easier to see than in daytime. So I think it should be able to attract much more zombie attention at nighttime. So that way you're at nighttime, you throw a flare and it like reveals all the zombies' locations and they're all swarming towards the flare. I think that'd be pretty cool. But then in daytime, you should probably use a smoke because at nighttime you aren't really going to see the smoke, whereas in daytime you obviously would see the smoke. So different time and different lighting situations should affect the range of your throwable objects. I think that would be pretty cool. One thing, I'm not sure if it's a good idea or a bad idea, I don't know. I'm thinking that because the Barrett is such like a freaking massive sniper, it's kind of silly that you can run around with it iron sights and just like hip fire shoot people. I think it should only be able to be shot when you're crouched or prone, because I mean it's a 50 caliber 20-pound sniper rifle. I mean you aren't going to be able to run around with this thing. It should definitely be something that is strictly something that you use up in the hills and you wait and you look for guys rather than running around spray firing a Barrett. So that's one suggestion. I'm not sure how difficult it would be able to implement, but I think gears on the cars should be implemented. Like you don't use the gears, you don't have to shift through them, but it just sounds kind of funny how you get in a car and it's just like up until 40 miles an hour. So I think at least you should be able, or at least there should be gears, and that way it shifts through those gears and makes the cars like sound realistic. Now, I'm not sure if like Nelson is an audio engineer and I'm not an audio engineer either, so I obviously don't know how hard it is to implement this, but you know, it's just an idea, okay? And then sliding, even not on icy roads, like drifting, being able to go really fast in a roadster and go around a corner and be able to drift a little bit or have to actually control your vehicle would be pretty nice. It's another one of those weird things how you can just go in your 90-mile-an-hour roadster and just go like zipping through a city. Kind of unrealistic, and I think it'd be nice to have a little bit of give on non-icy roads, because I mean Nelson does have sliding physics in the game because there's ice. I think just adding that to regular roads except on an extremely toned down level would be pretty nice as well. One thing that I had an idea of for Unturned 2.0, and I think you should add it into Unturned 3.0, we have chainsaws for trees. How about jackhammers for boulders? Yeah, that's what I think. Now obviously you wouldn't be able to run around with the jackhammers that you like sit on, but I'm talking about like the handheld jackhammers that kind of look like drills. But you know, I'll put them on the screen. You know, they like that. Basically. And then one thing, remote detonation explosives. This might be a little bit of a challenge. I'm not sure how you'd be able to implement it. Maybe it works like C4. It's not stackable. You place down a C4 and it will automatically equip the little detonator clip. And then when you click that, it'll blow up. It seems too much of a complicated process for it to be useful, but you know, throwing it out there. One thing that I think should be added right freaking now is when you have safety enabled, it should lower your gun. This makes it to where other people know that you have safety on. Like you can tell people that you got safety on and straight up lie to them and then you shoot them in the face. But like, I think it'd be nice to tell someone else to put safety on, and then you know when they have safety on because they have their gun down in front of their chest and pointed towards the ground. And then for yourself, I oftentimes pick up a gun and I go to shoot a zombie in the face and safety's on. And I think it'd be nice to, if I pick up a gun and it's being like pointed down at the ground, I know that safety's on and I need to turn it off, and then it will eventually ready up your gun. And I think that definitely should be added. So if safety's on, put your gun down. I think that it should just automatically do that. And then when you click V to put it back into semi-automatic or fully automatic, it should also just ready up your gun. So anyway, definitely should be added. One thing to combat the whole situation about in Unturned 2.0, if you had a canteen, water was no longer an issue. You never had to worry about water because you could always just go up to wells or the ocean, which was everywhere, and you could fill up your canteen. So I think canteens should have durability, and if you have lower durability, it's not like it's going to break or anything. You just get more sickness if you begin to drink from it. So that way, it will require a bit more effort for you to keep hydrated even after you've found yourself a canteen. So that's a good idea in my opinion. There should be a driving skill. It will increase your handling and your top speed, and then also overall handling on snowy roads. So that'd be pretty cool. Just dump in some points into the driving category and be able to drive around faster. Perhaps it would even increase fuel economy, although that's a little bit unrealistic. And then also one thing that, I don't know, you guys comment if you like it or not, but I think being able to pick up scrap metal and then walk up to a car and it will want to snap to the windows would be pretty cool. So if you have a bunch of scrap metal, you could like walk up to a car and it would like snap to the windows. Like, you kind of see what I'm saying? Like, you walk up to the side of the windows and you can place the scrap metal on the windows and it will like armor it up. So that way you could take an armored car. That's not like, when I say armored car, I don't mean like freaking full on like Zombieland armored truck thing. I'm talking just like metaled up boarded windows, so that way some sniper on the top of the hill has a lesser chance of shooting you in the face while you're driving through town. So I think you should only be able to board up or barricade the back and side windows, and of course the front windows would be left alone so that way you can see out of it. But I think it'd be pretty cool to just be able to just plaster on some scrap metal onto the windows. That'd be pretty cool. Another thing that's just a simple little addition and definitely should be added, the ability to view how much fuel a car has by looking at it with a gas can. So, you know, when you're filling up your car, you don't know how much more gas you need. You'd be able to view how much fuel is in the car just by looking at it with a gas can. So that'd be pretty cool as well. And then also on the same page as the gas can indicator or whatever, the gas indicator, you should also have an indicator of how much health your car has when you're driving it. So that way you aren't waiting for it to start smoking before you should go out and use a blowtorch. You should at least have like a percentage indicator to know how much you have left before you blow up. Also, to help combat this whole situation of finding like a gas tank or a canteen and just living off it forever, I think gas tanks and wells should act as a resource. You can't like fill up off of them infinitely. Because I mean, in Unturned 2.0, I built my house around a gas tank. So that way I could just infinitely refuel off of it. I think it'd be nice to at least have to wait a little bit for the gas to come back. So that way you're not just infinitely fueling up your car. One little silly thing that wouldn't really be useful at all, but I think should be added. The same sliding on ice values, you know how you can like, if you walk up to a frozen pool in Unturned, you can slide around. I think he should apply that same value to the playground slides, so that way you can actually slide down the slides. I mean, it'd be pointless, but I think it'd be kind of funny to be able to slide down the slides. And then my last and final suggestion, it's definitely going to need to be added because now the maps are getting bigger and there's going to be lots and lots of water to go over. Boats. We're going to need some boats. Maybe gas boats. I think that's a bit much of a stretch, but I think at least some rowboats or some sort of little wooden boats would be pretty cool to have, especially with having such massive maps where you have to traverse over massive bodies of water. But those are all my ideas so far. I've kind of been jotting these down over the past week or so. If you guys have any suggestions yourself or any ideas that you especially liked in this video, just make sure to comment them down below. And then also just kind of scroll through all the comments and just like ones that you think are good ideas and dislike ones that you think are just complete crap. So this will help make this video just an awesome little section where we can always go back to and figure out what ideas the Unturned community wants. Make sure to come back every once in a while and go back and like comments and dislike comments and stuff, and help keep this video pretty cool. But anyway, make sure to let Nelson know about this video some way or another. But that is all I have for now. Make sure to rate, comment, subscribe, and do all that gibberish because MeLikeBigBoom is out.